Oh, hello. Come in. Take a seat. And welcome to the Tainted Tavern. Can I get you a drink?
Come into the Tainted Tavern, come sit a while for free. We talk about our musings and devices we've been using.
Hello, and welcome to the Tainted Tavern. And I've got a double review for you here today. I'm going to be reviewing a very old tobacco that I didn't realise I still had a little bit left, and I mean a little bit, just enough for a bowlful. So this is the very last bowl. It's a legendary tobacco, a tobacco that's no longer available, and a tobacco that when the company that produced this tobacco, McClelland, closed up shop, the tins of this tobacco went for astronomically high prices on various auction sites, and that tobacco is Frog Morton, which is an English blend, so that's Latakia, Virginias, and some Turkish tobaccos. I was cleaning out my cellar, looking for tobaccos that had dried out and needed rehydrating yesterday evening, because I bought several boxes of these stones here, which are rehydration stones. The way these work, you basically, the stones in here, I'm just going to want to show you what they like. But here are the stones. Basically what you do is you soak these in water. Distilled water is always best, not to impart any flavour to tobacco. You place them in water for 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Then you pop them in your tin of tobacco, and they rehydrate the tobacco. I did that with a jar of Condo tobacco, which I've got handy here for this review. This Condo tobacco, I placed the stone in here. This was very brittle, it was crispy, and there's the stone now, which is perfectly dry, and the tobacco's nice. And come back to it, it's the moisture level that it would have had when it originally came out of the tin. And another good thing about these stones, I bought 20 of them, but another good thing about them is they can be used almost indefinitely. So simply, when I want to transfer this to another tin of tobacco, or another jar of tobacco rather, pop it out, put it back in water for 5 to 10 minutes, and then place it in the jar. So today we are talking McClelland Frog Morton tobacco, a legendary tobacco. I believe Frog Morton, the name Frog Morton comes from J.R. Tolkien, from the Lord of the Rings. It's got a lovely little froggy guy on the label there, and it tells us that this is an exceptionally rich, smooth and dark Latakia mixture for the pipe. As I say, when I found this tin, I was surprised to find a little bit at the bottom, and it had retained a fair moisture level. I never had to rehydrate this. So I've filled up my Blake Mabriar Bulldog here, and we're going to be smoking that in a minute. But I'm going to be pairing it with a beer. I recently went away for the weekend to Minehead, my wife and myself, went with my brother, my sister-in-law, because up in Minehead at the Butlins camp they had a Wheel of the 70s weekend. They do that a lot through the year, have themed weekends. And we went to the 70s one, and we saw Boney M, Shawadi Wadi, several others. It was a good weekend, but I purchased some beers in the supermarket there. And these are beers which no doubt are available in my own area, but I've never seen this particular beer in stores around here. This is Exmoor Stag, which is a naturally strong bitter. It's 5.2% ABV, and it's brewed by Exmoor Beers Limited, Exmoor Brewery, Ford Road, Vatherscombe, Somerset. It tells us on the back of here that this is a naturally strong bitter, originally brewed to celebrate Somerset County Cricket Club centenary in 1991. The beer is a dark, amber strong premium bitter with a good malty taste, a full hop aroma, and a long dry finish with a hint of sweetness. Traditionally brewed from crystal and chocolate malts and a blend of 4 hop varieties. And I do like it when beers mention the hop varieties on the back. And so this is made from Fuggles, Goldings, First Gold and Bulbuck. A beer to savour on its own and a great match for roast meats and steaks. As I say, I've never seen this. Let me just get the beer open and poured. I've not seen this beer in any of my local supermarkets, so perhaps The Exmoor Brewery's distribution is more regional, so I'm quite looking forward to this now. Got the old trusty Swiss Army knife out here, pop in the bottle. Nice bit of smoke coming out of it. Let's just get it poured in. And I'm pouring it into a traditional dimple glass because a traditional beer deserves a traditional glass. So it's a lovely dark amber colour straight out. Reasonable head foam in there. Taking my time with the pouring here. Look at that. That looks fantastic, doesn't it? So let's get the pipe alight. And let's talk about Frog Morton tobacco. As I say, Frog Morton is a legendary blend from McClelland Tobacco Company. And when McClelland closed up shops, they decided not to sell on their recipes and the secrets of their blends to another blending house, which is done a lot. For instance, when Dunhill stopped blending tobaccos, they sold a lot of their recipes to various tobacco houses, most notably Peterson, who these days produce their version of Dunhill's Nightcap and Dunhill Early Morning Pipe, among others. But McClelland decided not to do that. Now this resulted in the tobacco becoming even more legendary than it was in the first place. So let's just get it alight here. Bit of a charring light there to start it off, and immediately I'm getting that Latakia heavy campfire roastiness.
As I watch the sun descending and the birds fly home to rest, in the hush when day is ending, that's the hour when I feel blessed.
That is proper old school pipe tobacco.
Smoking my pipe.
Latakia, of course, is the main component. There is some sweety Virginia notes come in as well.
Smoking my pipe. Like.
And of course the proportions of Oriental tobaccos bind the both extremes, the sweetiness of the Virginia and the smoky campfireness of the Latakia together.
A whisper through the cornfield comes a gentle evening breeze. At the doorway of my cottage I recall old memories. Smoking my pipe.
That's really nice. So let's take the beer, this ruby red concoction here, dark amber, whatever you want to call it, coppery, treacly colour, with a faint head, but it's not much carbonation in there. But then this is an old style bitter, so you wouldn't expect it. It's not a lager. That's good, very smooth. Very, very smooth indeed.
Smoking my pipe. Those far off places beyond the blue.
I feel kind of sad that I'll never smoke Frog Morton again, unless I'm lucky that someone happens to be kind enough to give me some one day, because I certainly won't pay the inflated prices that you can get for this stuff now. Unopened tins goes for hundreds of pounds.
Familiar faces that
I
once
suppose
I
it's
knew.
not unlike something like Squadron Leader, which I've recently purchased a tin of and have yet to do a full review of, but I've smoked Squadron Leader several times in the past. Squadron Leader is a very robust English type blend, so it's not unlike Frog Morton. There were various iterations of Frog Morton. There was Frog Morton Cellar. This is the standard Frog Morton. I have smoked Cellar, but there were others as well. I did try and Google that now to get some information. What Frog Morton tobacco varieties were there? So there was Frog Morton the original, which is this, which was billed as a mild English blend featuring a notable Latakia smoky flavour, often described as having a slight sweet topping. There was Frog Morton Cellar, which is perhaps, according to this search here, the most famous variety. This blend featured Latakia and was noticeably flavoured with whiskey, accompanied by a small piece of wood stave in a tin. I remember that when I bought a tin of McClelland Cellar. It had a tiny stave in the tin itself, which was part of a bourbon barrel, had been cut out of a bourbon barrel, so it gave that whiskey kind of vibe. Then there was Frog Morton on the Town, which was a blend similar to the original but containing Oriental's basma added to the mixture. Then there was Frog Morton on the Bayou, which added Perique tobacco to the base mixture for a spicier taste. Then Frog Morton across the pond, which was a version featuring Syrian Latakia rather than the Cyprian used in most other blends. And this was aimed at a more classic English taste. Then last of all there was Frog Morton Chateau, which was similar to the other, but was a lighter aromatic English hops, and so there were several Frog Morton varieties out there. Cheers. I'll say the beer is very, I'm getting a biscuity taste there, which it, comes from the Fuggle hops, no doubt. It's a decent beer. Pipe's gone out with all this talking. The last bowl.
As I watch the sun descending.
Nice, rich, smoky campfire taste. That's Latakia. I love Latakia. Of course, Latakia are low, very strong in terms of taste. It's low in nicotine, but the Virginia in you and the Orientals are making up for that in terms of vitamin N. Oh, Lady Nicotine, come under my arms. Yeah, it's a very, very good pipe tobacco, much missed. It's interesting, but there are probably various tobaccos out there. I previously mentioned Squadron Leader, which I feel is very similar to this in terms of taste. But there probably are tobaccos out there, a very close match for all of the Frog Morton range. Without doing a bit of research, I wouldn't be able to recommend any, but perhaps viewers can leave mentions in the comments if they know for any tobaccos that they feel faithfully replicate the Frog Morton originals, whether it's the Frog Morton Cellar, the Frog Morton on the Town, the original Frog Morton, whatever. Frog Morton Chateau, never heard of that one until now. Gives it almost a French kind of ring, but then New Orleans.
And the birds fly home to rest in the hush when day is ending. That's the hour when I feel blessed.
From McClelland, where were McClelland based? McClelland were actually based in Kansas City, Missouri.
Smoking my pipe.
So it's a full-flavoured blend. Incredibly robust, very earthy, very campfire forward, yet it's mild. There's no bite at all with this.
Smoking my pipe. Like a whisper through the cornfield.
I'm really enjoying it in this Blakemore Briar. This actual pipe here, Bulldog from Blakemore, fantastic English pipe makers, was a club pipe from the UK Pipe and Tobacco Club on Facebook, of which I'm a member. And go on to Facebook and search for it by its initials, UK PTC, and you'll find the club and request membership. It's a wonderful club, some great members there, some knowledgeable pipe smokers as well as a lot of newcomers, and everyone's more than happy to share their time. But this club pipe came from 2018 Blakemore Briars Deluxe, made in England, UK Pipe Tobacco Club 2018. So this was a 2018 club pipe. It's rather right. I've had a number of the club pipes. Not had one in recent years, but I went from the original, which I want to say was 2013 maybe, or maybe a bit later, I'm not sure, but I had the first 4 or 5 club pipes. First one was a Love It, and I do love my Love It. I love it. Blakemore make good pipes, so the bore is very, very well placed, excellently drilled, really good pieces of briar, beautiful stain.
Here comes a gentle evening breeze. At the doorway of my cottage I recall all memories. Smoking my pipe.
Smoking my pipe.
Smoking my pipe. those far off places.
So I've got a lot of tobacco reviews coming up on this channel soon. I've also got a lot of whiskey reviews, and I want to talk about my current book, which is available out there, Dark History of Whiskey. I want to do perhaps a couple of videos talking about that book because, you know, plugging a book helps me survive. I'm also working on a book on pipe smoking. But I'm not going to talk too much about that because it hasn't really been structured yet. I'm still toying with the idea of a book. And of course I've got my crime novel that I've got to get to the publisher. I think I'm about 2 months away from deadline. The Paths We Cross, so still working on that.
Beyond the blue.
It's a very, very Moorish tobacco, and I'm going to cry now because I've got no more left, and it goes well with the beer.
Familiar faces that once I
American
knew.
tobacco, British beer, what a combination.
I recall those days behind me and the happiness they meant. Every sundown you will find me with a heart that is content, smoking my pipe.
Getting down to the bottom of the bowl now. The last bowl. Getting down to the bottom of the last bowl now. It's very rich. Very creamy. This room note is going to be quite pungent though because the Latakia is very much forward in this blend. I see other reviewers talking about Latakia tobaccos, and I see various different ways that people pronounce it. I call it Latakia, but I've heard it called Latica. I've heard it called, there's several variations on the word, so I don't know what the correct way to pronounce it, but I've always said Latakia. Lovely spring day outside, probably go and spend an hour in the garden now following this video. In fact, I'll probably finish this pipe and this pint in the garden. So thanks for watching. Cheers. Yakida, Solange. Please leave a comment. If you haven't subscribed, then please do so. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps this channel grow. And give this video a thumbs up. So that's all for now. Back soon with more pipe smoking, booze drinking, various stuff at the Tainted Tavern.